Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. CNN.com brings us the story. The family of Ronald Greene, whose death 2 years ago is being relived this week via newly public video from his encounter with Louisiana State Police officers, say they have not been given a chance to grieve. Ronald Greene's mother, Mona Hardin, told CNN's Don Lemon on Thursday, "I haven't processed what happened to him, if there's even such a way of properly processing." In 2019, Greene's family said they were told that he died on impact when his car crashed after a police pursuit.
Mr. Greene was, to some degree, even though he had just finished leading police officers on a lengthy and a high-speed chase, his inclination at that particular point was to acquiesce to what the officers want.
Let me see your hands! Put your hands behind your back, bitch. Give me your fucking hands. Put your hands behind your back. Taser. Put your hands behind your back. Behind your back.
Now, video obtained by Associated Press shows Greene face down on the road after the crash outside the city of Monroe, Louisiana, being tased and kicked by Louisiana State Police officers as he tells them he is scared.
I'm scared. I'm just scared. Get out of the car. I'm driving me, Chris. I'm scared.
Initial reports of the incident from state police did not mention there was a struggle between Greene and the officers. Greene died on his way to the hospital, according to Louisiana State Police Criminal Investigations Division. CNN has reached out to the officers' attorneys for comment on the video. Greene's sister, Alana Wilson, said she saw the video for the first time on Wednesday. She told CNN's Chris Cuomo that authorities have sent the family on a runaround since his death, never giving them correct or full information. She said, "I'm still on the hunt and on a chase for justice for my brother. I can't even grieve my brother properly, knowing that they did this to an innocent human being."
You're about to get it again if you don't put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. I'm sorry.
What's problematic for me is that Mr. Greene is now left on the ground, on his stomach, handcuffed in a prone position. And officers are trained throughout the United States that once there's a struggle of this nature, and the individual's handcuffed, that you need to push him off onto his side or get him in a sitting position so you can allow that breathing to be unimpeded by his own body weight.
The Associated Press posted 3 clips totaling just over 2 minutes in length. From the video, it said it was 46 minutes long. CNN has not obtained the original video and does not know what else can be seen in the unpublished parts of the video. We'll never know. The release of the video clips comes as the U.S. Justice Department's Civil Rights Division are investigating the death, along with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Louisiana and the FBI. In a statement, the Louisiana State Police said it did not release the video and that it was not authorized or obtained by official sources. Louisiana State Police said it had been directed by investigating agencies to not release any evidence or further information on the case. Now, a state official with a knowledge of the Greene investigation told CNN that the Louisiana State Police was investigating the incident as a criminal matter the night of the event. A source with direct knowledge of the incident told CNN state police investigators were there on site that night and launched a criminal investigation.
And that didn't happen for at least, based on my calculation, 9 minutes, where Mr. Greene was left alone. And then when he wasn't left alone and he tried to get over onto his side, another trooper pushed him down using his foot against the lower back and buttocks of Mr. Greene. And I didn't understand that. There was absolutely no reason for that. Under no circumstances should Mr. Greene have been drugged by his ankle shackles. That was malicious, sadistic, completely unnecessary. And the officer that did it's going to have to be held accountable.
The state official was not authorized to speak to the media because the case is pending federal review. But the initial state police crash report made no mention of troopers using force or arresting Greene. The report from the Louisiana State Police said the two troopers pursued a vehicle being driven by Greene following an attempt to pull him over for unspecified traffic violation, and the pursuit ended when Greene crashed his vehicle. The first mention of a struggle came when the in-custody death was investigated by the Louisiana State Police Criminal Investigations Division after Greene's daughter filed a wrongful death lawsuit in May of 2020. The report said Greene was taken into custody after resisting arrest in a struggle with troopers. A short time later, Greene became unresponsive and was transported to Glenwood Medical Center by Pafford Medical Service. He died on the way to the hospital. Associated Press reported last year that Union Parish Coroner Renee Smith said Greene's death was ruled accidental and attributed to cardiac arrest. Two officers involved in the incident were reprimanded for their actions, bad baby, that night 2 years ago, including the not following procedure for body-worn cameras. One officer is on administrative leave in connection with a separate incident. Another officer received a 50-hour suspension, according to a Louisiana State Police spokesperson. A third officer, who was heard in an audio recording last year describing the beating the everlasting F out of Greene, died in a single vehicle crash in September. Well, karma has a way of getting back at you, third officer. That's right, karma's a bitch and she takes no prisoners. There are so many things going wrong here on this story. This video, of course, just released this week. I went through YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video, and the clips that you've seen in this story is the only video I could find. It's the Associated Press one. But I'm just going to nail down the elephant in the room for all of those that are going to support the police on this one. Yes, Ronald Greene allegedly was running from the police. He was, suspected of being in a car pursuit, didn't want to stop. He even apologized for that later. But it's not the job of the law enforcement officers to mete out punishment, to deal out discipline. It's not your job to do that. The guy was just in a car crash. He should have had medical rolling right away anyway. They drag him by his ankle cuffs. The hell is that all about? They leave him face down instead of rolling him on his side like officers are trained to do. And then they don't even mention the struggle in their initial reports. He died on impact. No, he didn't. So this story right here has so many suspicious factors in it. One officer is on administrative leave in a separate incident. Another officer got a 50-hour suspension. I mean, these cops are bad cops. How many lives have they ruined between killing Ronald Greene and today, where the one's on leave and in a separate incident and one's on a 50-hour suspension? How many lives have these guys ruined in the last couple of years? Many, probably. But there was something I wanted to bring up and I don't remember what it was. But I was going to say that, these officers, this is why we don't trust the police. This is why we have to record. Had a cop watcher ran down to that crash site or seen the pursuit and ran over there, he could have recorded it and we would have known about this 2 years ago. See, that's the importance of recording the police. And people say, and I've had a couple people recently even say to me, well, it's easy for you to record the police. You're a white guy. They're not going to do anything to you. You're a middle-aged white man. I get that. Look, I get it. And I do get it. No, look, I get it. Because if I was a person of color and I went to cop watch with, let's say, and I'm just going to use the old stereotype. I'm not judging anyone by this. I'm just using the stereotype. If I went, let's say I had a big heavy hoodie on and baggy jeans and some Michael Jordans, and maybe dreadlocks even, and I was a person of color and I go to film the police, I'm going to be treated a lot differently than going to record the police looking like Bill Nye the Science Guy. I get that. But that's an excuse if you're using that to not record the police. Well, it's easy for you. You're a white guy. What has that got to do with anything? Are you afraid to go record the police? I get that people of color, particularly blacks and Hispanics, are treated. There's whites that get treated bad by the police too. There are lower income, dirty car, looking like they may make, $10,000 a year. Of course they get treated bad by the police because police do economically judge people and economically profile people. But they also racially profile people. I get all that. But you still have to get out there and record them, because if somebody recorded this, we would have known about it 2 years ago. So don't use these excuses of, well, it's easy for you to record a police, middle-aged white guy. What's that got to do with anything? I can't help it. I was born this way. If the police treat me differently, hey, then I should be recording them when they pull over a person of color, right? And say, this is how they treat black people. Right? I should be out there recording that. And so should you. You should be out there too. I see people get pulled over time and time and time again. And you know what I never hear when people get pulled over? I never hear this from a cop. Hey, put that phone down. You know why I don't hear that a lot of times? Because people are not recording the police. Every now and again, I should hear a cop say to somebody that they just pulled over, put your phone down. Put that down. I need your driver's license, whatever. Don't record me. I should hear that every now and then. I don't ever hear that when they pull people over. I see people sitting on the curb laughing and joking with the cop. None of them are recording. What if Ronald Greene had been recording and the cops didn't know he was recording that night? I mean, fortunately for the family, their body cameras captured a lot of that, but it wasn't released for 2 years. 2. Why? Because it contradicted what they wrote in their reports. The thin blue line is thicker than you think. It's not a thin blue line, it's thick. That sucker looks like a 4-lane highway. And I'm talking one way, 4 lanes. That's a thick blue line. And they dance all over that thing. And people say, well, you're out there harassing the cops. No, I'm out there to tell the truth. And I'm going to give it to a lot of law enforcement officers. I'm going to pat you on the back. I know people say there's no good cops, but there are law enforcement officers who are honest, who are polite, who just trying to do their job. But you know what? You get 10 cops. This isn't a statistic. I'm just using a number for expression here. You get 10 cops on the street that you're recording. Let's say, within that 10 cops, 2 of them are liars. They falsify their reports to make it in their favor. They don't tell the truth. You have to record all 10 cops to find the 8 good ones and the 2 bad ones. That's why you record all law enforcement officers. Because you don't know which 2 those are. I'm going to find out. And then you find out that 3 of the 8 knew about the 2 bad ones and didn't say anything. So you take those 3 and you scooch them over into... Now you have 5 bad cops. Yeah. So This story here with Ronald Greene is really about integrity. The Louisiana State Police troopers that were on scene that night lack integrity. You say, well, you don't know if they did anything wrong that night. One of them's on 50-hour suspension, and another one is on leave on a separate incident. These guys are out there. They're not doing good stuff out there, or they wouldn't be in trouble right now. I don't know. What do you think? You let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers, to include Louisiana's bad cops and Louisiana's bad cops.